Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are looking at Time Thief Zoo in Negates. Now this is very consistent. I have tried lots of games and it has worked out every single time so far. Mainly your main focal point is Time Thief Winder, and as you guys know, Time Thief Regulator is one card in Negates. What Time Thief Winder can do is pretty much whenever you try to make a zoo, you can pretty much just detach a material from that zoo in order to summon him, and then he gets an extra search. So depending on the situation, you can either search a Time Thief startup or a Time Thief hack. The reason why I run Time Thief hack is because it acts as bounce fodder for Zephyros the Elite. So right here we are going to be going first. We normal summon Time Thief Regulator, and I'll just show off the one card combo. We summon Winder and Beazleship. Winder will search Time Thief Hack. We activate it and overlay into Forstrix. Forstrix detaches Beazleship specifically in order to search Singing Lanius, and Beazleship will detach the Winder to summon himself. We're going to summon Singing Lanius, and we'll summon a Ystrix. Ystrix will be summoning Zephyros the Elite from her deck, and then we will go for a Forstrix. Forstrix will detach these Zephyros in order to search a board spear. We're going to use Ystrix's effect. It will set a Soul Shape Force onto our field. We'll use Zephyros to bounce back to Time Thief Hack to summon it. And then we can summon the Bora from our hand. We'll activate this Time Thief Hack again. And then we just do stuff. We're going to be activating Union Carrier. It will equip the Thunderbird in our hand to our Simorg, and then we can use Soul Shape Force to revive our Forstrix and rank him up into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. We'll set this Call by the Grave just for good measure, and then we'll use Simorg's effect to summon Mist Valley Apex Avion. And just like this, we have Infinite Negates. In case you do not know how Infinite Negates work, it is pretty much as long as you have these two cards on the field, you can always perform Infinite Negates. As soon as your opponent activates a card effect, you can use Apex Avion, use it to bounce back your Thunderbird in order to negate it. So right here it'll get negated, and Thunderbird has the effect when it's returned to the hand, it can just summon itself back on the field. And neither of these are once per turn. Apex Avion is just once per chain, which is not too relevant. Mainly the thing is Apex Avion can always just bounce back Thunderbird, negate, and as soon as that chain resolves, activate Thunderbird again. If your opponent chains anything to Thunderbird, you just use Cyber Dragon Infinity as good measure. If he would have just attacked with the Raiden over my Thunderbird, he probably could have gone places. Instead, he's going to go into a Minerva. We're going to be negating that, and then he's going to use the effect, and then we're going to be using Thunderbird's mandatory effect, and he'll chain Minerva, will chain Called by the Grave, which will negate it. And pretty much he can't really win from here. All he has is a wolf and a judgment dragon in his hand, and I'm pretty sure we do have enough for game. These two are just 5,000 by themselves. 7,000, yep, it's an easy game. So we'll go on to our second replay then. Over here we have our second replay. This will show how Shade Brigandine, when it comes into your hand, it can become pretty clutch. The reason why I like to run zoos in this too, this might is because the reason why we run zoos in this too is because as long as you're able to just get enough zoos on the field, not only does it act as fodder for Time Thief Winder, who can detach stuff to summon himself, also if you just combine them with another extender, you can pretty much just go into you can hard summon Chakanine, use it to revive something, then to go into something like a Borbo, go into your second Chakanine, and then you can revive something else, which is just 2 revives, which is really great. So we're going first. Basically what we're just going to do, we're going to go ahead, activate Shade Brigandine, normal summon Beazleship, hack, and then we have full combo, just hack and Forstrix plus another extender, level 4 extender to be exact. So we're going to use Beazleship to summon himself, and then we can summon this Singing Lanius. We're going to go into Ystrix, and he chains in Perm, but that's It does hurt us a lot, but that's okay. We're up against the Teller Knights. What do you expect? I mean, he has a judgment at most, so we're gonna just activate Simorg at the end step. Simorg is always just a free negate. So now he's going to just draw. Gets reinforcement of the army. He's just going to use Call by Grave to lock me out of my force tricks, and then he's going to use reinforcement, and in order to search something. Now he's just going to be normal summoning Thingy search, Stellar Knight Vega, and just summoned another thing. We're going to negate it because I know Stellar Knights cannot live without their normal summon. Um, so and that's what happens. He just sets Judgment Pass. We can activate Simorg again, which summons the Mist Valley Apex Avion. We draw a Zephyros, which is really great. Normal summon Zephyros, special summon. You can go into Union Carrier, and he kind of just surrenders. I mean, he could have done something with Solemn Judgment and done more stuff, but not really. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to show any Zoo stuff, but zoos do work really well. They just increase the consistency. You do get consistent zoos off stuff like your Tenki and Barrage. I was once able to do full combo without even using my normal summon thanks to Barrage, and it just works really great. We do have space to run extenders like Monster Reborn, and just Time Thief Winder is meant to be a Zoodiac card in the end. So just go straight to the deck profile then. So we have the deck over here. One Apex Avion. It's mandatory. Apex Avion is the main reason why we can do this combo in the first place. 3 copies of Winder. You always want to see Winder in your hand. 3 copies of Bora. It's nice to see it in your hand. You don't necessarily have to see it because you can always just search it off Force Tricks. But having the Bora in your hand just increases the consistency of this deck so much more. 2 copies of Zephyros. Zephyros. I run 2 because just so that I don't draw the other one. And in one duel I just drew both copies of my Zephyros. It was kind of sad, but the reason why we run the Black Wings are because it just reduces the amount of materials you would need to do Infinite Gates. Without your Blackwing engine, you need 5 monsters on total in the field, including 2 level 4s and 2 other monsters with the same type and attribute. But with your Black Wings, all you need is 3 level 4s and any card that you can bounce back to your hand, which is super great. Next we have 3 copies of Tarblade. Tarblade. It's probably one of the best zoos. I mean, Rapier will always be the best zoo. Tarblade just discards something and lets you draw a card, which is very powerful. Especially because we run stuff like Monster Reborn, and we can draw into more pieces like Winder. 3 copies of Whiptail. Whiptail is also a super great card. 3 copies of it is not mandatory as it doesn't contribute to the main combo, but sometimes if you break, the Zoodiacs are a bit of an emergency, just a backup emergency plan, just in case something goes wrong. Zoodiac just helps, Whiptail just helps with that backup plan. 2 copies of Beetleship. Beetleship can just recover itself from the graveyard by detaching a material from an Xyz monster you control, which is super great. 3 copies of Regulator. Regulator is 1 card combo, as you saw there in one of the replays. 2 copies of Ram. 2 is just enough. Ram is Ram. You can't really go wrong with that. 1 copy of Singing Lanius. 1 copy of Singing Lanius because it's not a hard garnet. Singing Lanius just summons itself for free if you control an Xyz monster. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Raid Raptor Xyz monster. So if you just control a zoo monster, you can just summon it from your hand. 1 copy of Ratpier. Ratpier is it's Ratpier. Sometimes as a backup plan, I mean, I should probably put in Megaclops in this deck, cause I don't have it right now. But you can probably take out something like Hammer Kong or Borbo if you really want to. This extra deck is super tight, mainly because the entire Infinite Negate extra deck engine itself takes up 8 slots, so that's very tight. I just had 8 slots to make the rest, So I guess you can just take out this boar bow in order to put a Megaclops. A Megaclops is once again a really strong card. If you know you won't be able to do full combo, you can just use this Megaclops as a backup plan, or this entire Zoodiac engine as a backup plan too. One copy of Thunderbird, we're just going to equip it to our Simorg using Union Carrier. One copy of Soulshade Force just gets the Cyber Dragon Infinity onto our field, and you can just set it directly to your field using Y-Strix. One copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is just a free extender and extenders are a lot more powerful than you would think in this deck. Just the ability to get an extra monster on the field could be all you need to complete combo. One copy of Time Thief Startup. It's probably just an extra option if you've somehow bricked maybe opening something like a Winder plus Bezel ship somehow. You can maybe normal summon Winder, search Startup, special summon Bezel ship, and go on from there. I'm not sure if you'd be able to do full combo, but it is a pretty nice option to go for. A Startup has saved me a couple of times, so I'm sure it will save you too. 3 copies of Callblade Grave, just for the hand traps. 1 copy of Barrage. A free monster on the field is always incredible, especially because I once did full combo just because of Barrage without anything. And by the way, if you open Winder, as long as you're able to get 4 Strix on field, 4 Strix plus Winder is full combo. You just detach the material, summon Winder, and Winder searches Time Thief Hack, which is then full combo. 3 copies of Tenki. Tenki is Tenki. You can't go wrong with it. Tenki just searches all of your zoos, which is super great. On top of that, it can search Thorblade, which can act as a consistency tool. I couldn't really find space for something like Pot of Avarice. To be honest, you could probably take something like this Zoodiac combo right now out of the deck. It's not too necessary. Maybe 1 Whiptail. I mean, 2 Whiptail is kind of harsh, but should we take out 1 Whiptail? We'll take it out. 2 copies of Pot of Avarice is obviously great. So yes, we have our 1 copy of Time Thief Hack. The only reason we run Hack is it protects our Xyz monsters from impermanence, and it also just protects it also just acts as fodder for our Zephyros Steely. 2 copies of Shade Brigandine. The extra summon is invaluable. As I said, extenders are just incredible in this deck. 1 copy of Retrograde. Sometimes you would go into Retrograde, not too often, but it does help you play around cards like Dark Ruler no more. Cyber Dragon Infinity is you usually just make it with your Soulshade Force, mainly because you can just rank it up from a 4 Strix, because Infinity is a rank 6 and 4 Strix is rank 4. So that extra negate might come in handy in case your opponent just decides to create a large chain link. 1 copy of Time Thief Redoer. It's just our reason to play Time Thief Retrograde. 2 copy of 4 Strix. 2 copies of mandatory. 1 is just to search your Singing Lanius, and the second is to search your Bora. And you're going to just rank up 1 of those into Infinity anyways. 1 Tiger Mortar, 1 Hammer Kong, 2 Chakanine, and 1 Dryden. That's my zoo lineup. I know it's really small, but 2 Chakanine does come in handy sometimes, because you can just hard summon Chakanine and go off from there. We have our 1 copy of Avermax, and we usually just make it using IP Masquerena. In case you don't know, Union Carrier cannot be used as link material the turn it's link summoned. So during your opponent's turn, you can use IP and Union Carrier to go into Avermax. And one thing this deck struggles with is if your opponent just summons something with more than 1200 attack, they can just beat over your Thunderbird as soon as they bait out a negate, which is kind of a problem for this deck, which is why IP is mandatory. 1 copy of Megaclops. Megaclops is, I've said this multiple times, Megaclops is one of the best boss monsters of all time. Megaclops is unaffected by other monster effects except Xyz monsters, but it's not like your opponent's just going to get an Exiton Knight on the field. People don't even run Exiton Knight now. On top of that, it can just absorb one of your opponent's monsters and give it to an Xyz monster in the graveyard. So if you have something like a Trident in your graveyard, you can absorb one of your opponent's cards. Isn't monster cards. And yes, it's just any card your opponent controls. Just give it as Xyz material to your Trident, and then your Trident will pop something else. Your opponent will take half damage that turn, but not too much of a problem. One copy of Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty to get your Apex Avian on the field. On top of that, it grants your Simorgh targeted protection, so your opponent cannot like just chain an impermanence whenever they want. One copy of Strix. Strix can summon Zephyros straight from your deck, and your Zephyros can bounce back stuff. One copy of Union Carrier to equip the Thunderbird to our Simorgh, and finally one copy of IP to go into Avermax during our opponent's turn. So that's the deck. I hope you liked it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.